Okay, I guess we'll call the committee meeting to order. Place branding, 4-1, Councillor Murphy.
Place branding? Oh, good. I guess we've been talking about this since we got on council, and it's been going all over the place. And I kind of got a summary of where it all started back in April and where we're at today. I don't think I'm going to go through all this, but at the end of the day, I think that I believe we're being a little bit left behind with what place branding is and where we want it to end up. And I'm suggesting, because we've met with, or the CDC has met with PVDC and with DRM, and they're both on board. I suggest that we just pass this initiative over to the CDC and let them run with it.
Good question. So with us having it in our budget, can we transfer that money to the CDC, or how would we do that if that was the way that we chose to go?
What money?
We budgeted $10,000 for it, did we not?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought we did.
I think initially there was some money that the province had outlaid, and we had matched. This was years back.
I thought you actually told me last week that you did have budgeted money in there when we were talking about this.
I think we did.
Last week.
Or a couple of weeks ago when I brought up the place branding.
I don't think we did this year. I think we may have last year. But my understanding is that all three communities had agreed to put money into this.
Yeah.
But I don't think we allocated it per se, but that doesn't mean we wouldn't support it.
And what I'm kind
we
of
should check,
remembering
be sure.
is that we didn't last year, but we did this year, I thought.
I'd have to double check. I remember a bit of this story.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved with this, but the province or Travel Manitoba had allocated some money initially, and that money was gone.
No, the money so from what I understand, again, I can give you guys a copy of this later or email it to you, but they had money allocated to actually design this whole place branding, to market our area, right? It's not the PAW, it's the entire area, including, what we're known for. So they did this market group, and they did a study, they came up with all these things, and this is where they landed. I think what our commitment now is that we have to put in a certain amount of money every year to pay for that promotional stuff that goes along. And I think it was like $5,000 a year.
It's a 3-year commitment of $10,000 per year,
Yeah.
but that $10,000 is split between the three communities.
Right.
So it's nominal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm suggesting is that instead of us, continuing down the road, let's just commit to just going with it. We're not stuck with anything. Remember, at the end of the 3 years, we can do anything we want. We can get out of it. We can say we don't want it. We don't like it. We can revisit it. But I do believe it's time to actually make a move on this.
I think the big thing is it's a logo for the tri-community. It's not changing the logo for the town of the Paw. It's a logo for the three communities that can be used for marketing purposes for the whole area, the whole region. And I think, when the town had jumped on this with the RM and OCN, we were kind of at the front of it. And now we're at the tail end, because there's so many communities that have gone through this place branding process that we're now at the end of the line. And I think we do need to move forward with it, for sure. And I just want to see it move forward. However that has to happen, I just want to see it move forward.
I agree, and I think it's like anything else. We go with what we have so far, like with the logo, and then just like any other logo, it gets kind of boring, or you just don't like it anymore, and you change it in 3 more years. So we can get another different working group together and do the same process over again if we want.
So since the last meeting that we had, when we sat down with, you were there.
PBDC and
OCN was here, and as well as the RM. Has there been any communication since that meeting?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, Jackie's met with PBDC and with the RM, and they're both okay with the way the logo is today and with the program that was developed. And they have the funds ready to submit for their share, and it's just up to us to say, yes, let's move forward. They don't want to spend any more time doing anything else with it. And that's my understanding. So it's really up to us.
So
The last, like, again, and I don't,
That wasn't my question, though.
no.
Oh, sorry, Craig.
That's okay.
I wasn't there. No, we'll ask a question because I thought you were
Just
asking.
if we had,
Well,
if,
the last
like,
meeting that we had collectively, we came away with the understanding that we were going to let the children devise a new logo, and OCN was going to lead that charge, and they were going to do something with the kids, and then they were going to get back to us.
but Travel Manitoba nixed that. They
No,
said
they
that
didn't.
they weren't going to.
No, Travel Manitoba said that's not how they typically work, but if that's what you want to do, well, that's up to you guys. And he said that in an email or something. We couldn't
They
find
did.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've never heard back from OCN. We stopped.
Well, we're giving you back OCN. I'm talking for them right now because they're saying that they're on board. So the PBDC is representing OCN, just like the CDC is part of us.
But what about like, again, the last communication that council had received was that OCN was going to develop a new logo.
I guess they don't want to do that.
Oh.
I'm not speaking for OCN directly, but everybody seems to be okay with going forward with the existing program, and they're ready to move. So we just either have to say yes or no. And if we say no, I don't think anybody's working on it. We should just cancel the program, which I think would be a big mistake. I don't think it's a big deal for us to move forward with a place branding program that's not locking us down. It's not changing the identity of our community or any other of the communities. It's an area place brand.
So I guess we need to see then if we actually budgeted that $10,000.
Phenomenal.
It would only be
No, it would only be 3,000 for this
I thought it
year.
was 10,000
It's
for
10,000
each year.
between the three each year.
Yeah, for some reason,
Isn't
I
it
thought we
under-
re-put.
I thought it was $10,000 each community.
I thought we put
for
over
3 years.
5, but
We had originally, this is going back to the previous council, each community was going to put in 5,000 so that it was 15,000, and then Travel Manitoba was going to match that. But the minimum that they want is a $10,000 commitment for 3 years to be split between the communities.
Yeah, I don't personally have a much of a problem with it. I would just like confirmation that all 3 people put their money in.
okay.
On December 2nd, I wrote down $10,000 per year per community for 3 years.
See, and I would agree with your memory, because that's what I thought.
Well, I have written down in my notes from the original discussions back in, I have it posted here, so this is June 24th of 2019. It's, after the, there was a commitment of $10,000 a year for the communities. So maybe you're right, but I don't know.
I thought it was 10 each. I
This
really
is
did.
like,
I still believe it's an important thing to do. We wanted to do it whether the money was $10,000 or not. If we don't want to do it because of the money, then let's make that decision and not keep dragging our feet with it. If we want to have a place branding, then let's just go forward with it and find the funds and do what everybody else is doing. It seems successful elsewhere.
And I guess if that is council's kind of direction here, I can figure out exactly what it is for next meeting. We can have a resolution. It'll be yes, no, and cost, and that's basically
Sure.
it, right? So,
Yeah, 100%.
That's pretty simple.
So you'll bring a resolution forward for the next meeting. Perfect. Good, and then I can email, around if anybody wants the history, we can email around the history that was where it started.
Oh, was that Brent? Okay. Okay, 4-2, Adelius Drive.
I did suggest that this would be in camera.
Doesn't need to be.
It's going to be a negotiation, so I would think it would be.
I mean, we can present all the information at hand.
Well,
It's up to you guys.
That
That's
was
not
my
gonna be,
history sheet. I suggested it be in camera. If you're saying it's not, I'm not really comfortable saying some of the, because we're talking about financial responsibilities and who we believe is responsible for what. And
Okay, so in this case, we have an active agreement with them, and we have proceeding agreements with them. I mean,
But the active agreement doesn't identify exactly
for
who's.
capital cost, right? So,
That's what I think we need to sit down and talk about. And then there's also an agreement that we had that we're paying a certain amount of fees monthly, and we're not paying them. And I need to understand that. I didn't know what the answer is, and I didn't get a hold of Jeanette, so.
and they aren't either. So really, we've,
I know, that's why I would like to have this in.
Yeah.
no, I mean, that part doesn't need to be in camera. Me and Jeanette have touched base, and we just haven't worked out all the details yet, so.
So to move something into camera that's on the agenda, there has to be a resolution, moved and seconded? I
But how does it work though, or Mr. Mayor? I put my issue sheet as in camera.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the process. I think we can move this into camera, but I think a resolution needs to be moved and seconded, we move this into camera. And then so-
Yeah, it's just a motion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be
So-
written, or
No, no,
can I
just
just,
stand-
so I'll make,
Just make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we be issued a hand with, in terms of the agreements with KSD and the town of Nepal be moved to the in-camera portion of the session.
Seconded by Andre. Okay, all those in
Okay,
favor?
done.
Oh, there we go, so let's move it over. Okay, I'm just thinking out loud now, so, and I think out loud every now and then. We probably should have caught this when we adopted the agenda.
I didn't see it there. I did send it.
That, just, that's what I think we probably should have caught, but that's okay. Now I'm thinking out loud. I haven't thought in a while. 4.3. They want to look for some feedback on cannabis, eh?
I think this is a waste of time. We can talk about it.
So, is there a survey they want us to do? Is that?
Yeah, there's
what
an
I read?
attached bit of information here that, a list of questions that they're just looking for the community's. It's not like we're sending this out to our residents. I mean, as the representatives, this would be something you guys would,
So if council so wishes, they can fill it out, submit it, and it'll be taken into consideration.
you betcha.
So we would submit it individually.
Sure.
To you or to the email address provided?
I can do this either way. If you guys want to submit it all to me, I can send it in. If you want to just submit one together, I can send that in. If you want to submit them together and I can just accumulate the answers and send it in, that's okay too. Whatever you want.
Yeah, if I fill it out, I'll send it to you.
No problem.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, we're sailing right along here. I know that we have a couple of things for in-camera. That I know for sure.
So, okay, we resolved that we do now move ourselves into camera portion of the committee of the whole with Mayor Jakes in the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
All those in favor? All right, thanks for coming.